The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now, your hosts, Jesse Holley, Kurt Daniels, and Nate Newton.
Happy Tuesday. Happy November 1st. Happy, I don't know, post Halloween. How are we doing, guys? Today? Here we are.
Switch.
Happy switch up. That's for sure. It's a beautiful day here in Dallas. It's a beautiful day here in the studio as well. I'm Kurt Daniels. This is Hanging with the Boys to some degree. I'm in the big boy chair here today because we were switching things up. We are joined by the great Nick Eatman, the walking encyclopedia of Dallas Cowboys history.
Exactly.
And our man, Isaiah Stanback. Always a pleasure to be here with you, sir, and hearing your take on this great game.
I know what the intro said. The intro said Jesse Holley. I'm just a better-looking version of Jesse Holley. You know, I just want the people to know. I know a lot of people listening to audio, but if you're watching visually, I am not Jesse.
Right.
We get mixed up a lot.
Well, then I'm not Nate.
Yeah, you're not Nate.
Just want to get that clear.
Something like it.
Yeah.
Yes. Did you guys have a good Halloween? You guys got young kids, right?
Yeah.
Did you get out there and dress up, do the trick-or-treating thing or anything?
You know what? I wish I did. I wish the times were different. I wish it was like when I was growing up. But now you got to worry about, a lot of people out there that want to do bad things. So I try to keep myself and my family out of harm's way because I don't want to be the one that has to go, have the urge to want to do something back to somebody. So I just keep myself out of it. You know?
Yeah.
Well, I walked around a little bit.
Did you?
Yeah, but I mean, it is different though because you see how many people just do not participate.
Yeah.
Right.
Obviously just shut down everything. But now it even seems like it's more than that. Like it's like if you're not outside in your yard, then we didn't even go there.
Yeah, that's what we did. We sat out on our driveway and was handing out. But I think I ate more candy than I handed out. So I'm kind of on this sugar hangover today.
It got so bad because I let just take a handful. And I didn't even see this. This one kid was like 6'3", comes in. He's got some big hands. And so next thing I know, I'm taking our kids' candy and putting it in the bowl because we're out.
Yeah.
We're right now. I let them have too many. So yeah. That was
Was there one neighborhood, or was it your neighborhood that had the good candy back in the day, or did you have to go to a nice neighborhood?
I don't know.
Yeah, we moved around a little bit. We had a few people we knew around our place, but then we hit up some other spots we knew would have the good stuff. So yeah.
I don't know what's good candy. Seriously.
The king size.
Yeah,
if you can get a king
stuff.
size back in the day, that was fire. Or there was actually one neighborhood we would go to that gave out the king size, and they actually trusted you to grab one.
No, yeah.
My neighborhood was not that neighborhood, so we went to the neighborhood where they were trustworthy, and they would put actually soda cans in a cooler, and you can grab a soda can, and you can grab a king size Snicker or Butterfinger.
Yeah. So just one Smartie, that's not good.
Just one. A toothbrush left over.
Oh, man. All right, well, speaking of trick-or-treating, this is some radio segueing right here now.
There we go.
It is trade deadline day.
It is.
Are we going to get the Cowboys here, fans, going to get tricked or treated to a little move? What are you guys thinking? And should they?
Depends on what they can. What is it? I mean, which one's which? Is a treat actually a trade? I mean, it is.
I think Cowboys fans would say that.
For what? Though?
For what position?
and what are you going to let go? I mean, this is a good football team right now. Got good chemistry, good stuff working. I mean, I'm not saying you can't go get a good player because obviously you're seeing the team you're chasing is doing it in Philly, but at what cost and what are you going to give up? Because you got to remember, I mean, next year you got guys you got to pay. So if you bring someone in that needs a big contract, I mean, you've got that. You got a cornerback that's going to be the number one cornerback, highest paid cornerback in the league next year, I think. And then I don't even know what you're going to in 2 years what you got to do with Micah, whose agent knows he's not a linebacker. So you're going to have to pay defensive end money, and I mean, it's just. You just got to be careful. I'm not saying don't go all in. I'm not saying do it, but just got to be careful for what cost.
If you were going to make a move, what position?
Oh, man.
Receiver?
I was to say, and that's all dictated on James Washington's health.
True.
I know a lot of people have kind of forgotten about James Washington, but I think he's a valuable asset when healthy.
I do too.
Yeah.
I definitely think so about James Washington. I think that's a guy you could bring in, kind of get excited about. Like, hey, here's another guy that could help. I said this before, I guess on the break, that if you're going to get a receiver, you got to just ask other questions. Like, go down the road on your checklist. What does this receiver do is for the room? How much money is he going to cost right now? I mean, why is he getting traded, number one? Mm-hmm. Is it the contract they don't want to pay? And then if so, are you going to pay CD? What does this mean for what you've got going on? Because are you going to pay CD? You're going to pay this guy? Every time we did an interview about the Amari Cooper trade, the one thing that Stephen Jones said over and over is he's 24 years old, and he's going to be here for a while. So you knew they had to get a new contract for him and all that. So it was almost like they gave up a first, but they were getting a young, talented receiver. So whoever you bring in, depending on what you have to give up, you wonder how long they're going to be in the mix. So I'm fine with the receiver thing. I just think you got to answer other questions. Like, is he better than CD? Are you still keeping CD? Are you going to do him over? Just, because you already paid Gallup. So you kind of know what your number two is going to be.
Well, see, that's my concern right now. Is the way this team is at this moment. Do you have a number two? Because Gallup's working his way back from that knee injury, and listen to Jesse talk and others. He's not quite right yet.
No.
You got Noah Brown. He's battling a foot injury, and even if he wasn't, is he a true number two?
Do you feel like you have a true number one?
Well, that was
right.
That was one thing that Nate said is you're never going to have a number one if you don't have a number two.
Okay.
And so at this point, I know you're looking down the road at, how you're going to work out money, how you're going to do this and that. But I mean, the window is always tighter than you think.
Right, and maybe you just like you're saying, maybe just let it go. Maybe just let it work out like it's going to work out.
I mean, you're what, the third or fourth best team in the league right now, maybe at least the top
5.
2 or 3 in the conference. And if you're not going to say, I'm going all in now. When are you?
I'm with you.
I agree. I don't think you can go back-to-back seasons feeling as if you have it right there at the edge. Like you just need one more chess piece and you don't pull the trigger. I think last year was the year where they learned that hard lesson where they probably should have made one move that would have gave them just that extra little one-up to be like, oh, crap, these guys are really going for it. And you didn't feel like they did that. And then you feel like the same way this year. Like, hey, defense is playing really well, right? They're not creating turnovers yet, but they're freaking making mayhem. Offensively, you're starting to figure it out?
I'll tell you where I would go. I would go 20 years ago in those 2002, 2003 Cowboy teams that weren't very good.
Right.
But they had Larry Allen. And he couldn't help them win, but he was really good. He was going to go to the Pro Bowl every year. Yeah. I'll find that guy. I find that guy that on a team that's like, we got a great all-pro. And I know one I could think of, and a team that might be in the trade business at this point. I'm not going to say names, but I'm just saying, because if I got a left guard that came in here and was maybe even better than Zach, I mean, because Zach's 30 years old too. Right. So, you give me a left guard that I can have and solidify there, and maybe the other team just wants, you give them a second-round pick for it or maybe a first-round pick,
How much money does Dallas have to play with? Do we know that?
A little bit, don't they? I mean, again, if you're looking long-term contracts, then it's harder. But right now, they've got money to play with, don't they?
Because you start thinking about bringing in players of that caliber, right? Yeah, especially that particular position. You're going to pay some. Yeah, you're going to pay some bread.
You're going to pay some, but if somebody's got a big contract, I mean that's going to affect what you have to trade for because they're going to lose. Whatever prorated signing bonus is going to hit their cap immediately. All you're going to take on is what the base salary is. So it's got to get kind of tricky from that standpoint. And a lot of time, I think it was the Stafford trade from Detroit to the Rams. The Rams gave up so much for Stafford because the Lions are like, look what's hitting our cap for him not to be here. So you need to pay for that. That's why he got a 1. So you got to be kind of careful with that.
Okay, so I think the general feeling I've gotten from Jerry and others talking is that this team can compete with like the Eagles. I mean, you put Dak Prescott in that game, they can compete with the Eagles. But can they compete with the Chiefs or the Bills? And are they one guy away from that?
So my move, I know you're saying offensive guard, and I agree with you. That would be dominant piece, right? I think that you still need a dominant receiver.
Yeah.
Dominant. Not just a chess piece receiver. You're hoping that James Washington gets healthy, hopefully soon. I know there's a lot of speculation as to when he can start coming back and contributing. But yeah, you expect to have him back at some point this season. And I think he inserts himself and it becomes a great slot guy and a great vertical guy for you. But I still think that you need a true leader and somebody maybe who's even on their way out of their career, but they're still number one caliber to come into this organization and be that guy. Because I said it in the beginning, before the season, I said it in camp, and I'll say it now. I still don't believe CD is ready to take over the reins as a number one. I think talent-wise he is, but I don't think all the other aspects of the game, the leadership, the emotional intelligence, the relentlessness, all those things, I don't think he's really taken that on yet. And we saw another example of it the other day, where he didn't really run his route the way he really needed to, based upon the way it's drawn up, and it results in interception. Things like that, you need somebody to hold him accountable. And I'm not sure if there's anybody in that room that is holding him accountable at this point in time. I think that has to come from a Kellen Moore. It has to come from a Mike McCarthy, when it should be somebody else that says, hey, we need you to do this the right way.
Yeah. Now, we know a lot of these trades are done with draft picks and such. We just saw that one with Chicago made, which we're all questioning.
Yeah.
But this team is loaded with
Which one that Chicago made?
Oh, the Claypool.
Claypool, right.
Because
they moved yesterday. It was like, okay, they're dumping, Roquan Smith. Then they get Claypool, which is what they need. Basically that was the trade.
Yeah.
That's what they traded. I mean,
they swapped out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as this team looks to maybe move and deal, they are becoming – they've got – I guess it's a good situation, but maybe it's a tricky one where they're overloaded with defensive linemen.
Yeah.
Can you use any of those assets to maybe go get somebody?
I thought that would have happened last week. Prior to the Hangin signing, I thought they were actually in the process of potentially moving one of the defensive linemen. It didn't happen, but I think that's where you have your most value. Absolutely. If you did have to give up a player, that's the only position that you can afford to give up a player and say, I think we'll still be okay.
Yeah, especially with Basham supposed to come back here pretty soon. I mean, that's another guy that adds to your list.
True.
So,
jeez.
Yeah, I mean they've got a stable of guys, but. Yeah, I mean, you kind of wonder: are they looking to gain picks? Everybody loves picks, They could. Are they looking to, get picks for the future, or are they going to try to get guys for now?
That's both? My whole thing, man. I know Dallas historically has always planned for the future, and I know as an organization you have to always position yourself to be in a position to compete. But doggone it, go get it. You know what I'm saying? Like last year, you were in a position to go get it, you didn't, and it hurt you, right? You got bit in the butt first time. As soon as you get to the playoffs, you got smacked in your face, and it's like, oh crap, we might not want to do that again. We might want to prepare for this. You were as healthy as you could possibly be. You were loaded up, you were ready to rock, and you still got beat up. This year, things are seemingly getting back on that same path. You're dominating again. Your defense is playing really well. Your offense seemingly found their ground game. You have healthy guys for the most part. Don't make the same mistake.
Yeah.
Like pull the trigger and make the move that you need to make to put yourself over the edge. So what if it seems like it's a little bit too much? So what? At least you protect yourself in that regard, and you know that you have all the assets possible. You have an amazing defensive coordinator. You have an amazing front seven. It's going to make it really hard on teams that want to throw the ball. All you have to do is solidify your defensive run game. That's really technique and assignment. Once you shore that up, what do you look at? Offensively, what are we doing? Still trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
So go out there and get you somebody that's going to put you over the edge so that you can score points, because your competition is doing it. Right. Philly's doing it. The Giants are going to continue to figure it out because they got freaking the ball.
Yeah.
If I was 80 years old and this is the best team I've had in a while, I'd go for it.
Yeah, that's
what are we waiting for?
Eventually, the future is now, right? I mean, you got to bring in that piece, and I think seeing a team like
Steven.
Get in
there. Don't worry about it.
Seeing a team like the Rams last year went all in. You're seeing the Eagles kind of go all in. I think Cowboys fans in general are like, when is it our turn?
And that's the thing. Everybody's talking about the Rams. Oh, they gave up their future. But guess what? What do you play every year for?
Yeah,
a ring, and they got it.
They got it. Yeah,
you got it.
Yep. All right, well, let's take our first break. When we get back, maybe we'll talk a little bit more about where this team stands now and maybe the run game problems. There's a lot to go over. So this first segment was brought to you by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Come back and we'll see what we got next. So we'll be right back with Hangin with the Boys.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com is one of the most trusted ways to buy, sell, and trade crypto. Whether you're always on the go or stay closer to home, Blockchain.com is just a few taps away. Put the power of crypto in your pocket, so no matter where you are, you can trade on your terms and build a crypto portfolio to fit your life. For crypto pros, rookies, and anyone in between, blockchain.com makes it easy to own a piece of the future. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team.
SeatGeek has your back no matter what kind of fan you are. So whether you're a diehard fan or a don't really care fan, a we got 'em next time fan or we'll never win again fan, a here for the tailgate fan or a first one through the gates fan, SeatGeek not only makes buying and selling tickets easier than ever before, they made just about everything else easier too. So whether you're a here every week fan or haven't been here in years fan, SeatGeek has you covered. Download the SeatGeek app today. SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Get the ultimate fan experience for the ultimate Cowboys fan. Join Dallas Cowboys United, presented by Globe Life, starting at just $20. Join now. Get your fan pack, exclusive benefits, and more. Visit DallasCowboys.com/United for details and join today.
That was good.
That's like auctioneer right there.
Yeah. Nice. Yes.
I did it yesterday. Same read for the Cowboys break. It was funny. I think Chris was dealing with something. He was like, in the break. I was like, Chris, we're like, Chris, you all right, man? I don't know what he was dealing with. So I was like, I'm going to read it like that. I was like, get the ultimate fan experience. And I'm like, pick it up. So, yeah, this is I've been there. I've done this one a while. I feel like I could.
Yeah, you got it off the top of your head now?
Yeah, but some of these others here.
You wake up out of your sleep saying it?
Yeah.
I think we're also brought to you by blockchain.com, this segment, if I'm not mistaken. Nice. There you go. Nice. All right, I want to ask you guys, I want you to shower me with good feelings and good thoughts. Well, that too, sure. Okay, tell me where we are here. We're basically the midway point. We are 6-2. Everything's looking rosy. We're looking good. Last year at this time, we were 6-2. We finished the year with the number one offense in points and yards. Our defense last year, 7th in points allowed, 1st in takeaways. It wasn't a bad defense. You could say it was a top 10 maybe defense. Now here we are, same situation. The run defense still a problem. We talked about the wide receivers being a problem. Offense still figuring it out. Why do we think this year's 6-2 team has a better chance than last year's 6-2 team?
I don't
think it does.
Oh, all right.
Because I mean,
we're brothers.
Well, I mean, last year you were 6-2, and at this point, I don't think it looked like any team in the division was going to have a winning record. True. The Eagles kind of limped in and got to the playoffs at the end. Now you're 6-2, and had it not been for Seattle fumbling the ball, you could have been in 3rd place still. So you're tied for 2nd, even though you beat the Giants. But I'm just saying you're chasing. You're 6-2, and you're chasing in your own division. I think it's a better football team than it was last year. I think it's a lot more complete team. Even though they got some receiver. I mean, I don't know. The defense is way better. The offense is not as good, but the defense is way better. So I think that's why the team is better.
I don't think they're better. I think they're definitely playing better, and I think they. Personnel-wise, they're better on defense, right? I think they have a better understanding of their assignments. They understand Dan Quinn's system. They're playing better together, even though they don't have nearly as many takeaways as they did a year ago. Offensively, that's the reason why I say that they can't be better this year than they were last year. Simply because of the fact we know that you're going to have to score. You're going to have to score points against teams that are better than the Chicago Bears, and they haven't shown that to date. Now you show the last few weeks that you can run the ball a little bit. Okay, that's That's helpful, right? But you're fighting against an offensive coordinator who doesn't really want to run the ball, right? So you have to be dominant in the run game. But if you're not dominant, then we're doggone it, we're airing it out, right? And we know that airing it out this year hasn't been it. Now, obviously, everybody's going to say, well, Dak hasn't been back for that long. Okay, well, let's go back to week 1. Okay, when you had everybody healthy and everybody's ready to roll. 3 points.
Right.
3 points against Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now let's go ahead and look at the last few weeks. Okay. He threw for what, 200 and some last week or so. It still doesn't give me the sense of security that you can go out there and compete with a team that can go bang bang.
Yeah.
Right. And I still feel as if this offense is so dependent on their defense. If you took the defense out of it and said, okay, we're playing 1/3 of the game. Okay, offense versus offense. Do you feel like the Dallas Cowboys can go against the Philadelphia Eagles right now?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if the defense, and I understand it's not a realistic scenario, but like just being from where you were last year, and that's why we talked about this a few weeks ago. How many pieces did you lose to have that much of a drop off on your offensive production? You lost Coop. We understand that.
Yeah.
You lost Coop. You lost Seti. Okay, but what else?
Right.
Well, I mean, I think it was but that's a big loss. I mean,
Huge,
I
I agree.
I mean, just when you think about last year, your receivers of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 was Noah Brown, and so now you lost, I mean, now CD's number 1, and you had to play a little bit without Gallup, and Cedric was gone, and then Noah Brown jumps to number 2. So you're playing with Fehoko and Dennis Houston and Jalen Tolbert, who's just running around right there. He's just only thing that I see out of Tolbert is he goes in motion. But after that, after like pre-snap and stuff, I don't see anything else that he's doing. Yeah. He just hasn't developed yet. So yeah, I mean they definitely need a receiver. But I'll say this: I think that the tight ends are going to become a huge asset to this team. They're getting there now, but they like to run the ball. And they're getting better at blocking, and I'm talking about Hendershot and Ferguson, these 2 rookies. But they can play 13 personnel and throw out of that. I mean, that whole package of the 3 tight ends bunched over here and CD running the ball. I mean, that kind of just it's a dynamic that is very unique, and I think they can run out of it. I think they can also effectively pass out of it, which is. That's what 2 tight ends and 3 tight ends are supposed to do.
They had all 4 guys active, and they all played an integral role in that win the other day.
That was a big game for McEwen. Because Sean McEwen was basically the fullback. If you go back and look at some of those runs, those plays that Turpin had, those tight ends are moving people, and they usually are. I mean, the best tight end that ever played here was a get-in-the-way blocker. Love Witten to death.
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, and he could block, and he would be taking pride in I'll wham the nose and all that stuff. But he was a get-in-the-way type of guy. He wasn't just a mover.
Baller,
And I'm not saying these guys are moving people that much, but they're pretty good blockers, and they're gonna grow into that.
Shout out to Linda Wells. He's doing a heck of a job.
Done an amazing job.
Heck of a job with that whole group. To get 4 guys being productive at one position, how many guys were drafted?
None, right? Except for Schultz and Ferguson.
And Ferguson.
And during, I just think back to like that hotel lobby in Irvine when we would see Lunda all the time. He would be down there, visiting friends and stuff.
Man.
Yeah. He was telling us though, he's like, I got some guys though. Ferguson's going to get really good.
Yep.
He's like, Hendershot is going to make the team. Like, really? Make the team? Like, he's going to make the team.
How you scoring touchdowns?
Now he's scoring touchdown. Now they're
out the back at the fullback position at that.
Yeah. Now they're just they're like playing
20 with you.
Yeah. It's like the rodeo out there with the.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about the offense needing to find what they're doing. McCarthy has said it, and others have too, that this is a defensive-first team now, and we need to run the ball and do these things to play to our defense. Oh. And the defense they're better than they have been in years. Can you win that way?
I think yes, you can.
Can you win the big games that way?
Yes, you can, if you can stop the run. But my issue is, why does it have to be one or the other? Like why? Like why does it have to be okay? You know, like Nick just pointed out, the defense was really good last year, but guess what? They're better this year because they're playing better collective ball, regardless of what the turnover margin said. All that kind of jazz. These guys are playing really good ball, and if they can stop the run, they can force teams to pass. And nobody wants to pass against this defense. Right. You just don't want to be in that position. It's just too much ammo on that side.
The Bears, I think, chose to lose the game.
True.
Than to try to throw it and even attempt to get back in it quickly, and they just ran right into the Cowboys' hands, and they kept getting yards and points.
Yeah,
but they had no business trying to win the game.
Yep. My concern comes if Dallas can't run the ball, can they pass the ball to victory? Yeah. And I think last year you're like, we don't want Dak throwing the ball 40 times, but if he throws it 40 times, we still think that they can win some ball games. I don't feel that way this year.
Oh, really?
I just don't.
Is that because of just the receivers, or is it because of him struggling?
I think it's both.
Yeah,
I think it's both. I don't have a sense of security that Dallas can line up and throw themselves into a game. If they got behind and you have to abandon a run. Say you got down by 10, right? You have to abandon a run, right? You're in the third quarter and you got to play some catch up here. Okay, defense is holding their own, but some teams are just really powerful offensively. I don't have the sense of security that you can line up 4 receivers out there and just throw against defenses. I don't feel that.
Yeah. I mean, they don't have those guys. I mean, with Noah Brown and Gallup. I mean, Gallup is not. I'm not saying he's not 100%. He's just not all the way back to what we've seen, and he may not be this year. That's why I wasn't a huge fan of that re-signing, just because you're going to let Cooper go, and then you're re-signing a guy that won't be himself.
Yeah.
He's not going to be what you're paying that money for right now this year. You just can't. You don't have ACL surgery in February and then play to that same level
the same cuts
in October, November. You just don't do it.
But last year you had a top of the league defense. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember where they ranked at, right? But they were at the top.
They were up there.
Okay, so now again, you have a top of the league defense, okay? Last year you had number 1 offense. Yeah. You would expect, if you're going to have some drop off, maybe you drop down to maybe top 10. All right, not number 1, but we can drop maybe 10 spots and we're still in a really good freaking position, right? Yeah. Our offense, our defense are top 10 in their particular categories. That's not what happened That's not what has happened this year. You had your defense make a jump up, right? You had a defense make a jump up, and your offense did what?
Yeah.
They dropped all the way down, and I don't think that you can win those ball games with those guys being on the bottom half of the league.
Yeah. Well, let's be fair though about it. Like they did lose. I mean, if we think that Dak and Cooper, I mean, it's a huge difference. I mean, I know I took a lot of heat for saying what I've said about
Dak and Cooper Rush.
Yeah. I wouldn't. That I wasn't gonna. If it was me, I wouldn't bench an undefeated quarterback. Not to say that Dak was ever, or that Cooper Rush was better than Dak ever, just from a mojo standpoint, what was going on. But you didn't have to make that decision because he lost, and we've seen him lose now, and Dak's better. But they played without their starting quarterback. They played the whole season without their left tackle, who is a Pro Bowl player when he's healthy. They played one game without their starting running back. The starting tight end, they've missed some games, and he has not been the same, Dalton Schultz. Now, they're getting other guys to fill in. Of course, the receivers have been all over the map too. So I'm just saying they have taken some hits, and they're 6-2 with it. I mean, the continuity on offense has not been there at all, and I still think that they've played above expectations. Considering if you were sitting at training camp and go, this is what they're going to have to deal with. Dak's missing most of the first half of the season. Tyron won't even play. You're going to throw Tyler Smith at left tackle, who hasn't played their practice all year, but now you're going to play him there. Just all the injuries, all the issues.
Yeah.
I mean, if they can find that continuity, then I think they'll be okay there.
Do you think that? I think in the past, Dak has got some criticism for trying to do too much, throwing the ball too much, checking out of plays, that sort of thing, and McCarthy has said we're going to keep it more balanced. We're going to make sure our run game is part of the factor. But do you see Dak as he gets more comfortable and finds his way? He's going to be like, nah, this is on my shoulders. I'm going to take over. And is that good to get the offense jump started, or is it bad because then you're putting too much into guys' hands?
I'm going to let the former quarterback
maybe not an Aaron Rodgers type
answer
yet.
that. But I mean, I'm gonna kind of lead into your answer here. But I would imagine every game there's a different feel. When you would go out and play, you could tell right away whoever you're playing against, we're going to need to score 40 today, or it's pouring rain, and we got to just take care of the ball, and our defense can win this. I mean, I would think you can kind of get a feel, and sometimes the answer could be totally different.
Yeah, I think it varies from game to game. I still think that Dak is trying to get himself back established. My biggest fear with Dak, he's a very capable quarterback, right? But I'll stand on the same mountain that I've been on for years in regards to Dak. He's a play-action quarterback. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's no shame in that, okay? Right. But he's a play-action quarterback. I worry with this offense this year, not last year's offense, okay? I know take Cooper Rush out of it, right? Take the stats line. I'm not a big stat guy, so take all that out of it. With the personnel and what we've seen from the personnel this year, and now Dak back in the fold, I still think that the best thing that a team can do against the Dallas Cowboys is force them to pass the ball. I think that's the best strategy to beat the Dallas Cowboys. Get up early, right? Have a two score lead and force Dallas to throw the ball. I think that is worst case scenario for Dallas this year.
Yeah, and that's always been a bit of a problem, I guess. It's just for so long we kept thinking, especially after his rookie year, we thought, man, Dak's going to be the next Aaron Rodgers or whatever, but he's never quite. I mean, he's gotten better, obviously, but he's never quite hit that top elite class yet. So. All right. Okay, let's take our last break. And when we get back, we've been talking a lot of offense. Maybe we'll talk a little defense. We'll just see where it goes. But come right back with us. We'll be back hanging with the boys.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
SeatGeek has your back no matter what kind of Cowboys fan you are. So whether you're a diehard fan or a don't really care fan, a we got 'em next time fan or we'll never win again fan, a here for the tailgate fan or a first one through the gates fan, SeatGeek not only makes buying and selling tickets easier than ever before, they make just about everything else easier too. So whether you're a here every week fan or haven't been here in years fan, SeatGeek has you covered. Download the SeatGeek app today. SeatGeek, your ticket to great Dallas Cowboys seats.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com is one of the most trusted ways to buy, sell, and trade crypto. Whether you're always on the go or stay closer to home, Blockchain.com is just a few taps away. Put the power of crypto in your pocket, so no matter where you are, you can trade on your terms and build a crypto portfolio to fit your life. For crypto pros, rookies, and anyone in between, Blockchain.com makes it easy to own a piece of the future. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team.
Hey, Cowboys fans, if you're thinking about attending a game this season, visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today. Stay at the team hotel, have dinner with a Cowboys legend, and experience AT&T Stadium's exclusive VIP Owners Club. Also, tour the Star, get autographs from your favorite players, and talk X's and O's with me, Mickey Spagnola. The official travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys will take care of all your travel needs. Visit cowboystravel.com.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
All right, we're back here with Hanging with the Boys. I feel like I got traded here for the day, but I'll tell you this about Hanging with the Boys. It's brought to you by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings.
Yes. Nice.
Wing it out.
Yes.
I would think if you were going to have some new people on the show, you should kind of show them,
show them some love,
what they've got. I mean, Wingstop.
Yeah, we've been waiting for some wings around.
Because I'm pretty sure our show, The Break, was sponsored by Miller Lite. I'm pretty sure Barry Church was drinking beer on the show.
Really?
No, not really.
I would say
we were sponsored by Black Rifle Company, coffee company, and so we definitely had coffee on the show.
Okay,
we're way behind on our product placement. That's for sure. We need a little bit of help there, I think. But well, you guys were traded to this show today, and I guess another big trade came down just now. What was that, Chris? You said Chubbs?
Yeah, Bradley Chubb just got traded to the Dolphins.
Hey, what's up there on the TV now? Huh? What they
first round pick, fourth round pick next year, and Chase Edmonds.
Wow,
that's a good big deal for somebody that Denver was not going to be able to resign.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Denver lost how many first round picks for Russell Wilson, who's playing like a 8th round pick.
Oh man. Bad.
Just
Not
saying.
even a Mr. Irrelevant. Huh?
No. He's not playing that way. He's not playing that way. I mean, he gave up a first-round pick for him. A couple first-round picks.
Yeah, they gave him a lot. Seattle won that deal, obviously.
I know the Cowboys are
Oh, please
listening.
do something. Please.
Yes.
Please don't go a second year in a row with a really good team and just say, oh, we were just that close. Close doesn't get you anything.
You're saying Hankins wasn't the move?
Hankins is a good move. He had an impact, but doggone it.
He had an impact against a team that ran for 200 plus yards. That's just.
I mean,
that's unfair to Hankins, but
it's unfair to Hankins because if there's one thing that the Chicago does really well, and that's run the doggone ball. Okay. Some teams are just built different. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this: if you're sitting in there with Will McClade, Steven, Jerry, and McCarthy, he's obviously in his office, so obviously he's in the mix, and the receiver. A receiver is being mentioned. We can get this guy. We're going to have to trade a third-round pick or fourth-round pick, whatever. And then the question is he better than James Washington? And they said no. He's not.
Well,
then you're not doing it.
Then that's not the guy.
No, you need a guy that undoubtedly is feared by other teams.
Yeah.
You talk about San Francisco with the move they did. Freaking McCaffrey is feared by every team that he steps out of. You better know where the heck he's at.
Yeah.
You need a guy like that. I'm not saying at that position, but you need a dominant player, not a good player. You need a dominant player.
So, and that's why I said you got to start. As soon as you make that move and get that wide receiver, the next press conference is. So when do you have to decide on a fifth-year option for CD? And are you going to do that? I mean, that's why I'm saying, it's not just an easy we're putting him in. And I agree with what your point is deal with that stuff later.
Yeah, it's now.
I get
Win now.
I get it.
The thing is, the front office is always in such a position of power. And it's just the way contracts and everything are laid out. I mean, you have a fifth-year option, and then you have the franchise tag. And I mean, there's so many different options to keep guys around to keep saying, hey, prove it to me.
Yeah.
Right? CD still has, hey, prove it to me. You got to show me. Okay, you can't just out here just make some catches, make some drops. I need you to be a dominant player. I need you to lead in every aspect of being a number one receiver.
Right.
And there's time for him to continue to show that. And if you bringing in a number one discourages him, you don't have your guy anyway.
Yeah. No. But see, I guess I know if there's a James Washington type guy that they bring in, I wouldn't want him to give up much, but at this point, you don't really know what you have in James Washington.
I know.
You don't know what you have for sure in Noah Brown with his foot injury. You're still waiting on, like
Gallup.
you said, Gallup is returning. So
you got three injured guys and a question mark at your number one.
Yeah. So if you have the opportunity to get a known quantity, even if he's a known number 3, then I think you got to consider that if you're not giving up a whole lot.
I'm with you. You guys are selling me. I mean, I
would you go say something to them about that? You got the inside.
Yeah. Nah, they don't care.
If you're McCarthy, aren't you on the table saying, "Get me somebody"?
I definitely would.
He doesn't care about 2
I would
years
be
from now.
river dancing on top of the table right now if I was McCarthy. Moonwalking, river dancing, whatever gets those guys' attention. I pray that Mr. Jones, Double J, just says, you know what? I understand the position I'm in. I understand what I've been wanting for all these years. I understand the reality of my time here. I need to make this move. And I need to make this move. I just have to put us in a position to undoubtedly have the best opportunity to win a doggone championship because other teams are doing it.
Yeah.
The team that you got your butt kicked by in the playoffs last year, guess what? They pulled one out their doggone rear end.
Yeah.
And now if you had to face those guys, you're like, crap, they got some weapons. Right? They got everybody they had last year plus.
Yeah, yeah. Did it surprise you at all that they did trade for Hankins? Because I mean, if there's one position on the team that's relatively deep,
but not for what he does.
No.
I just got a text from someone that kind of knows what's going on, and his answer is yes.
Yes, something's happening.
Just yes.
No, what was the question?
Just yes.
The question was still quiet.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
It's not the news we want to hear, Nick.
90 minutes. 80 minutes. A lot can happen, Kurt, in 80 minutes.
Would you do it?
Could fly to Houston.
What if somebody throws a defensive asset towards your way? Would you do anything to that?
Yeah, I mean, listen. I mean,
listen to anything?
Yeah, I mean, we'll say it's a corner. Like, that's a really good corner. I don't think. Yeah, I mean, obviously you're gonna have to pay Trayvon next year, but Anthony Brown, I don't know if he'll be here next year, and Jordan Lewis probably not. And I mean, so far the guys you drafted haven't really been impressive. Deron Bland has been, but I'm talking about 2 years ago with Kelvin Joseph and Deshaun Wright.
Yeah.
They're not. I mean, they get on the field. Kelvin Joseph gets on the field and gives up a touchdown, and
that was a big receiver.
Yeah,
that dude was ginormous.
No, I get it, but I mean,
6'4", 225.
Yeah.
We've kind of hinted around about it a little bit so far today, but as far if there's one weakness to this defense, we're saying it's the run game, stopping the run. Could you make that change with adding a player? Is there something different? Is it a scheme? Is it a technique? Is it a want to?
We saw Hankins and Gallimore working in tandem. This rotate. They really have 3 defensive lines.
Yeah,
they in reality with Basham injured. I mean, you got 3 defensive rotations that you're working these guys through, and I think Hankins got around 30 snaps, I think, this past game, somewhere around there. So you have him in there trying to get,
he looked
acclimated.
Pretty good.
Yeah, he looked pretty good. I mean, he looked pretty doggone good. But you really have 2 run stoppers. Gallimore's still finding his way as a run stopper, right? He's an impactful, I think, in pass rush. He's quick and all that jazz. His size says that he's a run stopper, right? But we haven't seen that aspect of his game really come on yet. I think if you were to be offered another run stopper, I think I would listen. Yeah. I would listen because
Bohanna hasn't done that.
Big Bo has the size.
Yeah.
He has the size, but he hasn't shown again that he's just a freaking guy to just consume people. Imagine if you had 2 guys, and I think they'll work their way to it, but just where we're at right now. If you had 2 guys that can just clog up the A and both A gaps, this defense becomes a freaking problem.
Really?
Yeah. It becomes a problem because now 1st and 2nd down, you're not able to run the ball, and now these guys are able to whatever line they want to throw out there, 1, 2, or 3, all 3 of them can get to you.
Yeah, if you could look at the Philly game, they won the game because they could run the ball on 1st down with Sanders. Sanders up the middle for 6, for 7, never put not ever, but it didn't put Hurts in a lot of situations of 3rd and long. And that's not just Hurts. I mean, Hurts has shown he's a really good passer. He's improved dramatically. But any quarterback you want to be in third and long. And I think that was a huge part of that, because when you're trying to play that read option or RPO or whatever you want to call it, you got if you can trust your 2 guys there and not have to sell out to stop that, then you just, give it to them. Hand it off to them. Yeah. We'll stop it at 2 or 3 yards. We'll stop it, and then our guys can key on that.
Think back to Baltimore, of old Baltimore, right? I'm talking about Sam Adams,
Unitas.
I'm talking about
that's old Baltimore.
Old Baltimore. I'm talking about Sam Adams, Tony Siragusa, Haloti Nada. When they had those guys in it, run the ball up the middle if you want to. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. If you were able to move these guys, there's a freaking Ray Lewis sitting behind you. But go ahead. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. You better go try to beat the ends up. So if you're in that position with this pass rush.
Yeah.
Good night.
Yeah. What if we always talk about making a team one-dimensional, and usually you're talking about taking away the run. Can you make them one-dimensional by taking away the pass?
No.
It just doesn't work that way.
No, because when you want to beat a team into submission, what do?
You run it.
You run the doggone ball. What did Philadelphia do? Philadelphia was like, okay, all right, we're beating you up. Okay, we'll chill for a little bit. Crap, they got back in the game. What are we going to go back to?
Well, hold on.
11 straight runs.
Hold on. What did you say again?
Well, you always talk about you want to make a team one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Can you win if you make that team take away their – because we say we've got a pretty big pass, and you force them just to rush.
I think you just did that. The Bears just ran it. The key for the Cowboys was that they just kept scoring.
Yeah.
Because if they would have struggled a little bit and not scored, then the Bears would have been in good shape.
You have to get up early.
Yeah.
You have to get up.
And they did. But I think so it's rare. It's rare to win a game that way. But, yeah, I mean, they did make the Bears one-dimensional and they could not throw it at all. Yeah.
True. They don't have a quarterback who can throw it.
Not yet. He can jump, though.
He can jump. Yeah, he can jump over people. Situational awareness.
He's going to be good, though.
He is.
I know
he looked better than I
He's bigger than I thought.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
He's a big dude. I mean,
he looks little when you look at him, right? But then you look at him, you're like, dang, that's a big dude.
You look kind of little out there too, man. But you're not little.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Well, on the only thing, I mean, he has to be a big dude to take that hit from D.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, that was a crushing.
Yeah.
Talk about situational awareness. Jesus.
Yeah, do they just not want to block him?
You as a quarterback, you have to know that he's unblocked. You have to know who's not blocked on this play. Let me get away from him.
Yeah, and all he had to do is if he would have just taken a peek, and then you make one move, and
he did it a couple times.
Yeah, he did that too many times as it was.
Sometimes I think that those guys, they're like hunger to get sacks is good, and that's why they get sacks. Sometimes I do think that it causes the team to be selfish in a way, the players to be selfish in a way. Instead of breaking down and rushing, like Kurtz did a great job of kind of rushing from the outside, and then he went back in. He's not going to let that bootleg get around him. And I think sometimes so many of the defensive ends and pass rushers, they just want sacks so bad that they go straight for it, and then they whiff, and then it's a first down.
Yep.
Yeah, that maybe goes back to what you were saying about technique and staying
it's difficult.
assignment.
I mean, as a former mobile quarterback, that's what you bank on. You know they want to get you so bad, so you just sit there, bait them, and it's you just go. The teams that are very the thing is, if in order to stop that, you have to not be as aggressive in your pass rush.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to, give
up something.
Yeah, give up something.
Hard balance.
Yeah.
All right. We made it through it.
That's the show.
Like it.
Yeah. Time to get out of here. But we'll be back again tomorrow, the three of us. So
like it.
Looking forward to that. I don't know what we'll talk about. Maybe we'll take calls. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe the trade they're about to do.
Maybe we'll talk about this trade.
Or trade
Big
that
trade,
they don't do.
right.
I don't know.
I hope we're talking
Kurt with
about
the
a
inside
trade.
scoop, baby.
No.
What's funny is that people are like going to listen tonight at 9 o'clock at night. Like, they didn't do anything.
No. You got any more texts you want to share? Any last minute?
Yeah, my wife wants me to pick up some.
It's the best move we'll get all day.
Right.
All right. Thank you, Chris Beam, for keeping us going back there. Thank you, Audio Jazz, whatever it is you do. Thank you, Bro Willie, getting us online. Thank you, Nick, for joining us today.
sorry.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Isaiah. A lot of fun here. And thank you all for listening. We will be right back here tomorrow. So join us again on Hanging with the Boys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!